Stop buying that scrub paste at the store. This one works amazing. It only costs pennies to make. There are all kinds of cleaning scrub paste you can get at the store, and they're filled with all sorts of stuff. Today, we're going to whip up a scrub paste that works really well, and it's only 3 ingredients. And I'm sure it's mostly stuff you have in the house. I'm just going to use a little bit of Castile soap, some baking soda, and a little bit of water. That's it. You could definitely add essential oil to this if you'd like to, but I usually don't. I just make it a plain old paste. So we can just get things clean. This works great in the kitchen, for the sink, the stove, anything like that. Anything stuck on, grimy, it really helps get it out. And how that sink gets really nasty, I know mine does. I like to use this with a scrub brush. It works beautifully to get it nice and clean. So let's jump in and get started. This is one of those things that is so simple and easy. You forget that it's, that easy to make. We all think that these products are so much more difficult, and I think we overthink them. I know I did for a long time, but this is really super simple and easy, and I love how it cleans the sink. And I haven't cleaned the sink yet, so you get to see how that works. But we're going to start with 1/2 cup of baking soda, and I just have a 1/4 cup measure here because that's what was hanging out on top of the drawer. So we're going to start with 1/2 cup of baking soda, and I do a 1/4 cup of Castile soap. This gives it a nice cleaning power. I love Castile soap because you can use it to make almost all of your products. Cleaning, hygiene, all sorts of stuff. You can do tons with it. I love that. So we're just going to pour that Castile right in there. And once we have our Castile in there with our baking soda, I start mixing it. And I want to see the consistency before I add my water, because you can use 1 to 2 tablespoons of water. And this is going to thicken up after it sits for about an hour. It looks a lot thinner than it's going to be. So I mix it right in the jar. I try not to get too wild with it. Make it as simple and easy as possible. Only thing with your jar is you want to make sure that your scrub brush or whatever you're cleaning with is going to fit in there. So I like these little purr jars. It's an 8-ounce wide mouth. But you could use any jar that you have, leftover sauce jar, whatever. Any jar will work. Just want something with a cover so it doesn't dry out completely. And you can see this is looking a little thin. And I use a fork to mix this because, you get to get all those clumps out if there are any. And this works so good on those, on grime, soap scum, got big dirt ground in. This works really, really well on all of those hard surfaces. We use it in the toilet or you can use it in the shower. This is great in the sink, on the stove, countertops, anywhere that's a nice hard surface. It is a little bit abrasive because of the baking soda, so I wouldn't do this on windows or glass, but it's good for all your other hard surfaces. And I just make sure it is mixed really, really well. And then I don't think I need too much water here. Maybe a tablespoon of water this time. Sometimes it depends, how you measure it. And I get a little wild with my measurements sometimes. I'll put too much of one thing or heavy 1/2 cup, or, it can change it. So when you're measuring, if you're not 100% perfect, and I never am, so that makes a difference on your water. But this is pretty thin right now, you can see. But we'll let this sit for about an hour or so, and this is going to thicken up to a paste, which is great. So we're just going to let this sit for about an hour. Okay, so after about an hour, you can see this is thickened up to a nice paste, and this is ready to go. You can use it right away, but it's just a little thinner until it sets up, just kind of stiffens up as it sits a little. And So now it is just a nice paste that you can clean with. So let's head over to the sink, see how it works. Okay, so you can see over here, this is really gross and disgusting. My kids love to throw everything right into the sink. So I'm just going to take my cleaning brush and put it right in that paste and kind of twist it around. And that's why you want your jar to be big enough for whatever brush you're using. It doesn't matter. And then a little bit of water. Get that wet. Get everything nice and wet. And then I just give it a good little scrub with the paste. And this takes so much off and really looks so nice and clean. Gets that funky smell out of the kitchen too. Oh, the sink must drive me the most crazy. And then I just give it a quick little rinse. And then I just check to make sure everything is gone, if it needs to be re-cleaned or re-scrubbed, anything like that, higher up, whatever it needs. And I usually give my brush a little rinse, make sure I don't bring all that nasty bacteria back into there. Just give that a quick rinse and then back into the paste wherever I need to clean. And then I can do the other side to get all that done. And that's it. Scrub paste is really super simple and easy. You cut all that junk out. You save a ton of money. This literally costs pennies to put together. No $6, $7, $10 in the store. You have everything right at home, which makes it great. I just use a half cup of baking soda, quarter cup of Castile soap, and a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of water, depending on, how I measure, because I'm a little wild sometimes. That's it. This is so easy. It works wonderfully. And you can add those essential oils if you like lemons in your kitchen. That's a great one to put in. It also helps disinfect. And I would put probably 15 to 20 drops in to one batch of this. So an 8-ounce jar is perfect. Whatever you have for a jar is going to work as long as that brush fits in. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.